Hurricane Hillary. Hello everyone. I am back, and today I'm going to be talking about the best old school classic cars in GTA Online. In my opinion, let's get into it. Hope you all enjoy. First up is the Broadway. I love the Broadway, how it looks, how it handles, how it drives. Now, I will say the price is the only thing that somewhat holds this car back. It's a bit expensive for what you get. It is kind of a slow, older classic car, which you shouldn't expect speed from any of these cars because, of course, they're old classics. They weren't intended for speed, at least modern speed. Maybe back in their day, 60 miles per hour or whatever was the top speed, but no. This car is pretty slow, but it is expensive. But if you do like the look of this car, if you do like how the customization is, me personally, I love how the customization is. It's very good. It's very unique. I love the air cooler that goes right above the passenger side mirror. I think it looks really clean. It really makes this car look that much cooler. And I do love the liveries as well. And this car also looks good in pretty much any color. I had mine in blue before, and then before that I had it in black and cream, and it looked pretty good. But now I kind of just settled for the red, and I think this really does look fantastic. It makes the car look great. And overall, the Broadway is a great car. Next up is the Eudora. The Eudora is probably my favorite on this list. This list is not ranked in any particular order, but I will say this is the number one. It has the looks, it has the customization, it has everything going for it. This car is absolutely great. Once again, it has a similar problem as the Broadway does. It is just a bit pricey, but I think you are getting a better car in this instance because it is a sedan. In my opinion, it looks nicer, it's truer to its original style, the original concept that it is based off of. And overall, I think it's just a great car. This car seemingly also goes on sale and on the podium rather frequently. I think it's already been on sale or on the podium twice already, which is quite frequent for a car that has been released pretty recently. And overall, it shouldn't be a hard car to get by any means unless you're just broke. And if that is the case, we have other problems to talk about. But overall, the Eudora is great. My number one at this list. It looks fantastic in every color. It has great customization, and once again, my favorite on this list. Next up, we have the ZType, a classic car, one of the OG legacy cars from 2013 when GTA 5 released originally without online and it was only the story mode. This car is absolutely beautiful. And to me, it's just a car that I looked up to playing GTA 5 early on because in story mode, when story mode was the only thing and there wasn't online, this cost $10 million and that was pretty pricey. The only way you could really afford this is if you did some of the assassination missions and you got into stocks early on, or you waited until the big score. And even then, you kind of still had to wait until the big score because you had to unlock the option to buy this car. You couldn't just buy it from the jump. But when it transferred to online, it came at a price of $950,000, which is much more reasonable. If it was $10 million, I probably still would buy it today just because I have a lot of money lying around, and it would be cool to have a collector's car like that at that high of a price point. But it's not, so I think it makes it better for more people to get it and make it more accessible. Next up is the Manana. Now, you may be surprised to see this car on this list, especially as I customize it, because it is a pretty basic Benny's car. It has all the Benny's customizations as usual, interior, liveries, paint jobs, wheels, everything, which makes it a pretty standard car overall. But I think the way this car is right now, how I have it customized very simply with just a paint job and some clean wheels, makes it look really nice and definitely gives me some Scarface vibes from Miami or I don't know, or Cuba, because this car just has that look going for it, and I think it really looks great like this. You can also go down the route of the lowrider, which has all the liveries on it, but I just prefer how it looks like this. I think it looks much more clean, and once again kind of gives me a Scarface vibe. This car is probably one of the best values on this list because I think you can buy this for very cheap. You can find it off the street actually, so it's free technically, but if you want Benny's options on it, you do have to upgrade it for like $400,000. I have upgraded mine with Benny's and I put full level hydraulics on it, and I like doing that because from the outside you would never be able to tell that I even customized it. It looks like I just found this car off the street. But you definitely do not have to go down the Benny's route. Once you find it off the street, you can make it just a clean car if that's what you're looking for. But in my case, I wanted something with a bit more pizzazz, and I think this car really has it. Next up is the Yosemite Rancher, which is probably my second favorite on this list. I really love these old boxy trucks, and spoiler alert, there is another one in this list. But this one is probably my favorite out of the two just because all the customization you can do to it. You can go for a soft top, you can go for a no top, you can go for a topless model with the top taken down, kind of like a Targa top. on a truck. It's really stupid, but I mean, I guess if you want to go down that route, you definitely can. You can add barrels in the back. The customization for this is phenomenal. The team that worked on the customization for this knocked it out the park, even though I'm pretty sure half of it is reused, but the half that isn't reused is very good and very unique. Now, the Yosemite Rancher is a bit pricey. Just buying the Yosemite is like $385,000. Then you have to make it the Rancher by taking it to Benny's. I forgot how much it is, but it should be $600,000 or around there. You're already looking at $1 million just for upgrading it to Benny's, along with the additional purchase price of the truck. But that's before customizations, and customizations are extensive on this truck. But I think if you just have a lot of money lying around and you want a cool off-road or something to just mess around with and customize if you're bored or something, this car is really great. You will not be disappointed at all. And compared to other Benny's cars, I think it's actually a pretty good value. And overall, I love this and highly recommend it. Next up is the Glendale. I love the Glendale because it just gives me that old Mercedes-Benz vibe, the vibe that everyone lusts after. Everyone remembers the old Mercedes-Benzes back when they were known for quality, not quantity, and the fine craftsmanship in the interior and the materials and the way they last. You know, whenever you go to third world countries, you see these old Mercedes S-classes or E-classes driving around everywhere because they just go and go, especially the diesel models. They're just absolutely fantastic. But sorry for that tangent. Back to the GTA 5 version. This car is even better in GTA 5 than it is in real life because it is cheap. You can buy this for like $150,000 or $200,000, somewhere around there. And for that, you get a pretty unique car that you don't see too often, and I think is a really great value. Now, it's not fast, don't get it confused, but you will have fun with it by taking it to car meets or just by looking at it. You can go for any sort of style you want. Even though there are not a lot of customizations on this car, you could just go for a simple paint job and a simple wheel, and this car will look great. Really doesn't need much to be a fantastic looking car, and I recommend it to everybody, low level, high level. If you don't have this car, I would get it. Our second boxy truck is the Walton. I love the Walton. It has tons of customization options, just like the Yosemite Rancher, but I think this one actually has a little bit better customization options just because they're unique to the Walton. I haven't seen them on any other truck, and the Yosemite Rancher has options that are on like the Rebel or other trucks like that. So this car beats it definitely in the customization department, but not in the price. This is a pretty pricey truck for what you get. It's not fast, it's not armored, it doesn't have a Tech. It's a pretty bare bone truck, but if you just want something to role play with or just cruise or take to car meets, this truck is really fantastic for that purpose. It also has a functioning light bar on the top, which is fantastic. A lot of these trucks that have optional light bars that go on the top do not work, especially if they're older, but this truck actually does work, and it works pretty good actually. It's pretty bright. I usually have mine off because they're so bright, but if you really can't see, you have your brightness low or something, they actually come in handy. And the other options that you can customize this truck with are fantastic as well. Overall, I think this is a very good truck. I would buy it, but only if you have the money lying around for it. If you're new and sort of tight on cash, I would not buy this. There are better cars to buy for the money, and you will not get the full potential. Next up is the Greenwood. Now, this car, I believe was in Vice City. I cannot confirm. Maybe I never played Vice City, so I'm not too sure. I'm not that old. But if it wasn't Vice City, let me know in the comments, and I will leave a heart on it just to make sure that you know that I saw it. But just in case if it wasn't, I can't confirm. But in GTA 5, it is a pretty good car. It has a Tech, so you cannot get locked onto. You can put armor panels on it, but I think it looks disgusting on pretty much every car that it goes on. So I'll never do that ever probably, but you really shouldn't need that anyways. People in GTA Online are pretty trash, especially with free aim. People on oppressors will not be able to aim and lock on you by themselves. They need the auto lock on, and with the Tech, they will not be able to do that. So this car is really great to drive around in free mode just as is. And it's also a pretty decent performance car. I mean, it's not fast by any means, but it's not slow. You could definitely get from point A to point B relatively quickly, and with 4 people because it is a sedan, and there are tons of customization options on it as well. You can go for a sort of undercover cop look. You can go for a classic muscle car look like I did here. Mine was actually purple before this, but then I made my Dukes purple. Thought there was too much purple on my cars. I didn't want to make it look like a circus, so I made this one yellow. And I think it looks fantastic in yellow, but you can make yours whatever color you want because it is your car and your money. And overall, I would say the Greenwood is a pretty great car, even for new players who don't have a ton of money. If you want to sort of just reward yourself, I guess, you can get this car and you will get rewarded for buying it because it is a pretty decent buy. But overall, I wouldn't put this at the top of the priorities. Next up is the Stafford. I love the Stafford just because of the old luxury feel it provides. The interior is made out of wood and you can change the trim color on the inside. And I think the outside looks phenomenal. I'm really glad that they didn't add really stupid options like big spoilers or anything, because people probably would have put those on and probably ruined it, but they didn't, thankfully. And you just have this clean look. There's not a ton of customization for the Stafford, but it's one of those cars that doesn't really need it because it's fine as is. It just needs a really fantastic color. Me personally, I would leave the stock wheels on just because they look really fantastic, unless you can do a Benny's merge and get some other white walls on it, because that would probably look better. But I'm on Xbox and I don't know of a current Benny's merge glitch, so maybe if you want to let me know, you can hit me up on Xbox or something, maybe you can help me out. But anyways, overall, once again, I'd say the Stafford is a pretty great car. Now, I will say if you would like to buy the Stafford, I would just hold off. It goes on the podium like once a month, I swear to you. I'm not even joking. This car is probably the car that's gone on the podium the most. So just wait until it goes on the podium. If you're getting impatient, then buy it. But overall, it's kind of expensive. And that is it, everyone. The best classic cars, in my opinion, in GTA Online. I'm sorry for the hiatus it took between videos. I think it's been like 12 days at this point. I'm really sorry about that. If you kind of caught on early on, Hurricane Hillary really messed up my internet and it has been absolutely terrible for the past week. I've just now been able to get out a video, and you should expect videos regularly from now on. Thank you all.